Sarah. Just a little bit about me. I'm originally from St. Louis, Missouri, and I go to the University of Missouri. I'm a senior there. I study environmental science. I love what I do. I just don't know what I want to do yet for the rest of my life. So that's what brought me down here to Disney World. I'm an intern, and I work in the greenhouses every day. And then the best part of my day, I get to do tours with people just like yourselves. So it really is the best part of my day. I love interacting with our guests and teaching people about hydroponics, how we run our greenhouses. It gets pretty hot in there, so this is a nice little break in my day. So that's a little bit about me. We're going to get started. The tour's going to be about an hour, 15 minutes. Is that okay with everyone? Yes. Okay, cool. So if you have any fast passes or reservations you figure out, or if we're running a little long, just let me know, and I will radio get another intern to bring you guys back out here. Get to the bathroom, just let me know, we'll get you an escort. So you can take pictures the entire time. I highly recommend it. Just make sure it's on my right side. It's a good side. It's a joke. All right, there's going to be a lot of bad jokes today. Lots of plant puns. We're going to have a lot of fun, and we're going to start in the IPM labs. If you guys want to just come this way, we're going to go around the corner to the right. Up here. So this is our IPM lab. That stands for Integrated Pest Management. So what we're actually doing, we're raising beneficial insects that we will then release into the greenhouses in order to control pests. One pest that we have in here is called a leaf miner fly. So inside this cage you'll see lots of little tiny bugs flying around. That's the leaf miner fly. What it does, it will land on the leaves. It will tunnel through the leaves. It will actually lay an egg, and the egg tunnels through the leaf, eats all the nutrients out of the leaf. That's what these tunnels are on these leaves. All the damage on those leaves, it's really bad. That's what the leaf miner fly does. So we've actually released parasitoid wasps into these cages. Those are the little black flying around bugs in there. And they actually land on the leaves, and they will lay their egg inside of the leaf miner fly. So the leaf miner fly is crawling around in the leaf, doesn't know that it's being parasitized, doesn't know it's having a wasp actually lay its egg inside of it. So then we'll move these plants over to this contraption that we built. The leaves are nice and dry, so the leaf miner will crawl its way through the leaf, roll down into this funnel. We collect it in a little cup. This is where it all comes together. So you guys can pass this around. This is what the leaf miner larvae look like that are crawling around in the leaf. And then inside of that is actually a wasp that will emerge. It will look just like this when it emerges. Have you ever seen the movie Alien? Sigourney Weaver. So yeah, so it's a lot like that. So these little wasps will just, yeah, this is the full adult wasp. It's not a normal wasp. It doesn't get big and sting you. It actually stays very, very tiny. Has no real effect on humans at all. But it actually kills the leaf miner, because that's the pest that we don't want in greenhouses, and then we have more wasps that we can release.
Why do they leave the leaf?
So yeah, they're just nice and full. It's part of their life cycle. It's going to crawl on the leaf and then kind of like think of them as a caterpillar. So they're going to turn into their full adult miner fly. So they crawl out of that leaf, and then we actually catch them, and then the wasp will eat its way through that leaf miner and emerge. And then we've got this nice jar of little wasps. We actually release the jars like that into the greenhouse regularly. So about every week we release about 1,000 into the greenhouse. So you guys won't even notice them today, but they're flying around doing their job. We have 5 different varieties of leaf miners in our greenhouses, and then there's probably hundreds of varieties of leaf miners in the United States. So if any of you have gardens at home, and you might notice some little tunnels that are being dug through your leaves, that's actually from the leaf miner fly. And wasps are actually a natural predator. They made their way into our greenhouses when we opened back in the 80s, and that's when we discovered we could actually raise them just like this. Yeah, you can just set them right there. Thank you very much. So this is just one way that we can control pests. We release all different kinds of beneficial insects, and that's so that we don't have to be spraying our plants very often. We really try not to spray them with harsh chemicals. So really our first resort is simple things like pruning the plant, taking off bad leaves, and then really using beneficial insects. And our last resort is really to spray the plant with chemicals. Do you guys have any questions? Are you ready to move into the greenhouse?
Are those the leaves that they've been already?
Yes, you can actually just look at them. So A lot of times when our entomologists, they study bugs, when they're walking through the greenhouses, they'll look for damage. A leaf like this really can't recover. So this is just this way so that we can actually be raising these parasitoid wasps. When we have our entomologists go through the greenhouses, if they see one little tunnel that's being dug, that's enough for them to say, hey, there's a leaf miner infestation in here. They'll go into our back lab where we have hundreds of cages just like this, and they'll actually bring out the little cups of the wasps, and they'll release these at the plant. They'll just put it at the bottom of the plant, take off the lid, and then all the wasps emerge, and then they'll go after the other leaf miners.
Don't you already have wasps flying around?
Like in the greenhouses? Yeah, we release about 1,000 every single week. So
why do you keep releasing them if they're already inactivated?
So their life, they only live about 3 weeks. So leaf miners, we don't all. So the way that a beneficial insect program works, you have to have some population of pests. If you wanted no pests, you would just spray your plants with chemicals. But we really don't want to do that. So this is a really non-invasive way. It's living with the land, like Thrive. You know, we live with the land, live sustainably. So you have to have a very small but controllable population of the pests. So that's why we're constantly releasing these. Yeah, most greenhouses will do it like that if they have a pest program like that. And then another cool beneficial insect that you guys can get in your gardens at home is the ladybug. It's definitely my favorite. Yeah, so you can actually, ladybugs are great. You can actually go to a hydroponics or a gardening store. You can buy like 1,000 ladybugs for I think $20 or $30. Thank you. You set that right there for me.
I'm gonna
Thank
get
you.
some.
Yeah, definitely get some. First of all, they're really pretty to look at. It's like $30, you get 1,000 of them, and then release them in your garden, put them at the bottom of the plant. If you sprinkle on the top, it'll look really pretty, but they'll just fly away. But they'll eat aphids like crazy. They eat about 70 or aphids a day per ladybug, and then when they're actually transitioning from their young form to their adult life form, they eat even more than that. So they will eat all of your aphids, and it's really awesome.
I have a mini question.
Yeah.
Sorry. Do you all let us? We don't have
We
any.
used to. I know. We actually have such a large population of ladybugs in our greenhouse now, and not too many aphids, which is really great that we don't have aphids anymore. But we don't actually release them anymore because they're just a population in there.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I was reading. I was like,
Yeah, that was a couple years ago they used to do that. I wish we still did. If we see some, I will definitely point them out to you guys. Also, the teenager ladybugs, where they're in between their like pupa form to their adult form, looks really, really weird. First time I saw it, I was about to squish it, and our entomologist was like, "That's a ladybug." So they look like little alien bugs, but then they turn into a bright red, beautiful ladybug. Yeah, I'll definitely point it out if we see them. They're probably in the tropics greenhouse. That'll be the last greenhouse that we see. That's the one that I work in. It's definitely my favorite. So
the warm one?
yeah, it's very humid, but that has the coolest plants. So we're gonna get started. We're gonna head to the greenhouses now. You guys just want to follow me this way.
I know, right? You're a leaf somewhere.
I'm gonna lose the car.
I'm sorry. Keep up, keep up.
Species in here that might be allergic to it. You may not know it. So definitely keep you guys safe and also keep the food safe. All right, are you going first? Great.
Yeah. It's for the YouTube channel.
Very cool.
I cover hydroponics, so I figured this would be perfect.
Yeah. All right, guys, welcome. This is our creative greenhouse. It's called the creative greenhouse because we're growing things very creatively, right? Normally you grow plants in the soil out in the fields very flat. You're not going to see any soil today on your tour. This is a hydroponic tour. These are hydroponic greenhouses. So it's really neat. We're actually growing all kinds of different plants here. Very innovative and fun, creative ways. That's why it's called the creative greenhouse. So very cool system. If you guys walk all the way up to this wall and peek inside, some of you guys are short. You can peek inside right here.
Oops, sorry.
This system is called hydroponic, and it's actually sprayed in that wall. About every 10 feet or so, there's a sprayer head, and it sprays water, which has the nutrients mixed into that water, directly onto the root. As it moves in a circle very slowly, air is able to move through the plant, and light is able to hit all parts of the plant. That's really important for hydroponics. So plants are actually able to grow up to 2 times times, sometimes 3 times faster on a system like this and on a system like aquaponics. Aquaponics is a system across the way. You guys see the fish over there? That's the aquaponics system. So fish are growing on the bottom and plants are growing on the top. So we give the fish regular fish food, and then what do fish like to do when you give them a bunch of food? Yeah, they poop into the water, lots of nutrients, so like phosphorus and nitrogen. That goes through a filter and then gets sent up to the plants at the top. And then the plants are actually filtering the water for the fish. That's a really, really nice continuing cycle. Those are actually snapdragon flowers up there. We're in the middle of the Flower and Garden Festival, so there's lots of flowers in here. But normally we'll have something green and leafy up there. Green and leafy things like lettuce or spinach, they grow really fast, and they'll be ready for harvest very soon. So that's a very nice system. And then anything that we grow on that system, or anything that's not 100% perfectly fresh, ready for our restaurants, we'll actually harvest and send over to Animal Kingdom, so the animals get to eat it. We really don't like to waste anything here. So that's one of my favorite systems, as well as this aeroponic system. And then moving over here, slowly in a circle, are what are called cool pots. Those are really neat. Every 20 feet or so, they'll pass a sprayer head, which will mist the water into the center of that column pot, and then the water travels down, and the roots are all hanging out on the inside. So the story in here, everything is growing pretty much up off the ground, and we're actually growing vertically. Megan, question?
No.
Oh, okay. So this is exciting. Cool. Me too. I'm really excited too. If you guys look behind you, these are called vertigrowth systems. Whoops. These are called vertigrowth. So this is actually 40 plants in 1 square foot of area. So we're growing vertically rather than spread out. So we have flowers in here, of course, for the Flower and Garden Festival. But you could have anything in here, something green and leafy, or some herbs, some spices. You could have a lot of cool things in here. If you have a backyard, or you don't have a backyard, maybe you just have a back patio or something, you can still grow a lot of different things, and you're going to be very successful. So these are definitely one of my favorite growing methods. So you guys come this way. Come around the corner, you're going to see my favorite plant that we have here. This plant is called a touch-me-not or a tickle-me-not. He's also nicknamed Stanley. No one really knows why, but if you actually go on Google and look up Stanley, this plant will come up. So if everyone runs their finger down the center of a leaf, you guys can go ahead. I know you said you couldn't touch anything today, but definitely touch this plant. It's super cool. The leaves will actually close up. Huh? So have you guys ever seen a Venus flytrap?
That's crazy.
Venus flytraps close because they're eating bugs. This plant is actually just closing as a defense mechanism. So if a bug were to land on one of these leaves, the leaf will close on it, the bug will get scared, the bug will fly away. So this is a defense mechanism. And these leaves also close at night to conserve water. And in about 10 minutes, the leaves will reopen. Yeah, go ahead. This is definitely, you definitely want to touch this plant. It's super cool.
I do a video.
Yeah, take a Snapchat video, put it on your story. Super awesome. Sometimes you can get each leaf to close one at a time. Maybe not two.
Yeah, you spent a lot of time.
Oh yeah, Stanley, he's one of my favorite plants. Oh yeah, this is definitely one of my favorite plants.
Crazy cool.
All right, so we'll see Stanley again as we make our way back. Definitely want to take some more videos later if you want. I always do. We're going to come this way. We're going to pass all of these vertebrates. These are actually edible flowers. We harvest these regularly. A lot of times we send them over to France in the World Showcase. If you guys go there and order desserts, if they have flowers on them, they're most likely from here. And these purple flowers, these are called violas. If you guys go to the Pineapple Promenade, it's over near Canada. They actually sell a frozen lemonade drink, and there will be a little viola flower on the top, and it will be from one of these right here. So these are all edible flowers. You guys probably have flowers growing in your gardens at home. Maybe you knew they were edible, but a lot of flowers are edible. Alright, so you guys can come all the way down. I'm going to stop you right about here. Wash my hands real quick.
The aquaponic system on your left combines hydroponics with aquaculture. The fish provide a natural source of fertilizer for the plants.
Alright, who here likes cucumbers? Anyone? Awesome. Do you guys like cucumbers? You want to try a cucumber? You like it? Yeah? It's a pretty tasty treat. It's very fresh. You guys should try it. If you don't like them, it's okay. But we harvest them every day special for this taste test, so it's really good. You guys guys really like cucumbers? Make sure you get food.
Be the best cucumbers you have.
Don't play with them. Like a cucumber. Look at that white
Very fresh. Smell very good. Fewer. And then there will probably be enough for seconds. Little toothpick. Little cucumber kebab. So we harvest these every day. For the taste test, we harvest about 40 pounds every other day.
And you use them in the...
Yeah, so we bring some for the taste test, and then we harvest a lot. I can't even give you a number. It's a large number, but we will send them straight up to the Garden Grill, which is here at the land. A lot of times we send things over to the Seasons restaurant here. We send things to Animal Kingdom a lot. The Wilderness Lodge Resort, they have some restaurants there with fresh produce. A lot of the fish that we grow here, we will send over to Japan and China. We send a little over 20 tons of food to the restaurants here a year. And then anything else, this isn't even recorded, but anything else we actually send to Animal Kingdom, it's like a huge number as well. You're welcome.